Hello students. Today we will start with our third unit, that is ecosystem and biodiversity. So today we are going to start with the first topic of that is ecosystem. So what is ecosystem? So in today's lecture we are going to discuss about what is ecosystem and which are the types of different ecosystem and why these ecosystems are so much important for our environment, for the living beings, and which are the dangerous or we can say which are the threats to the ecosystem, and what are the solutions to conserve the ecosystem. So we'll start with what is an ecosystem, that is definition of ecosystem. So what is a ecosystem? So basically ecosystem is nothing but the interaction of all the living and non-living organism in the environment. Whatever the living organisms are present in the environment and what are the non-living components are available in the environment. So ecosystem is nothing but the interconnection between them, as well as ecosystem is the interconnection between all the living organism in the environment. So we'll start with the definition. So the interaction and the interrelationship between the living community. So living community refers to the plants, animals and the different organisms, for example insects, and in relation to each other and the non-living community. So non-living community is that is soil, air and water. So is referred to as an ecosystem. So interaction between the living community and the non-living community in the environment is referred to as an ecosystem. Thus, an ecosystem is a structural and functional unit of biosphere. It is made up of living and non-living beings and their physical environment. So in other words, an ecosystem is a chain of interaction between organisms and their environment. Ecosystem is a part of natural environment consisting of a community of living beings and the physical environment, both constantly interchanging materials and the energy between them. It is the sum total of the environment or a part of a nature. So these are the different definition for the ecosystem. So what is the purpose of that ecosystem is the interchanging the materials or the energy. So that materials refers to the interchanging of the nutrients, different nutrients in the form of energy. Then intact ecosystems are crucial for our environmental system since they provide a suitable living condition for all kinds of living organisms. So for all the living organisms to ecosystem provides the better environment for all the living organisms. So it is very crucial that our ecosystem is very intact. The next is components of ecosystem. So what are the components of the ecosystem? So it is divided into two parts, living components and the non-living components. Living components also known as the biotic components and non-living components also known as the abiotic components. So biotic components in ecosystems include organisms such as plants, animals and the microorganisms. These biotic component of the ecosystem comprises of the these biotic components are also known as producers or the autotrophs, consumers or the heterotrophs, and decomposers or the detritus. So all the living components in the ecosystem are divided into three parts, that is producer of the food, then the consumer of the food which consumes the food which is produced by the producer, and the decomposers who are responsible for decomposing all the components or all the nutrients and uh, send them back to the ecosystem. And the next is abiotic components. So abiotic components consist of climate or factors of climate such as temperature, light, humidity, precipitation, gases, wind, water, soil, salinity, substratum, mineral, topography, and habitat. The flow of energy and the cycling of water and nutrients are critical to each ecosystem on the earth. So, whatever the important thing in the uh, part of this ecosystem is the flow of energy and the recycling of the nutrients. So, recycling of nutrients and water and the flow of energy is an important part of the ecosystem. That is the main function of the ecosystem, flow of energy and the flow of energy in the form of nutrients and water. Next, which are the different types of ecosystem? So there are many different types of ecosystems present. Uh, so depending on the different regions and different conditions, the types of ecosystems are grassland ecosystem, which consist of grassland, forest ecosystem, rainforest ecosystem, desert ecosystem, savanna ecosystem, taiga ecosystem, tundra ecosystem, lake ecosystem, river ecosystem, and marine ecosystem. So these are the different types of ecosystem. We'll see one by one in detail. But we'll see one by one in detail. And important part is the difference between all these ecosystem is nothing but the different types of species present in that system and different types of environment. So according to different types of environment, that is the surrounding condition on the throughout the human beings, different surrounding conditions is nothing but the environment. So depending on that environment and the different species which sustains in that environment, so according to that these different types of ecosystems are formed. So we'll see one by one. So first one is the grassland ecosystem. So as you see in the picture, what is grassland? So grassland contains the grass as the basic. So grassland are referred to as areas where the vegetation is dominated by the grasses. Most of the area is covered by the grass, and all the living organisms are depending on that grass. So grassland can be found on almost all continents except of Antarctica. So grassland can mainly be found in the areas with annual temperature ranging from -5 to 20 degrees Celsius and annual precipitation between 600 and 1500 mm. So the grassland ecosystem's main part of this system is the grass, and animals which are depending on the grass are present in this grassland ecosystem. Then forest ecosystem. Then next comes with the forest. So as you all know what is forest. So forest contains the various species of plants, various shrubs, and the various animals, various insects. So forest ecosystem contains several kinds of trees including conifers and leaf trees. Forest ecosystem provide a habitat for many animals and plant species. Although compared to the rainforest, the variety of animals and plants is quite limited. So forest, as you all know, we have to very much depending on the forest for different resources. So all these resources come from the forest ecosystem. Then the next next one is the rainforest ecosystem. So, rainforest ecosystem can be characterized by high and steady rainfall. As you all know, rainforest, for example, the Amazon rainforest. So, all of you know about that. So, the rainforest area is the area where the what we can. So, rainforest area is the area where the probability of rain is very high. So, that is Amazon rainforest. So, this rainforest ecosystem, especially tropical rainforest, can be mainly found in South America and the Asia. So, the rainforest area contains the most or widely available species and plants, species of plants and or the animals. The next is desert ecosystem. So, desert ecosystems are usually characterized by low amount of rainfall, as it is desert. So, amount of water is less. So, rainfall amount is less, and the hot climatic conditions. So, since water is crucial for all life on the earth, so deserts often only have a low variety of animals and plants, since living conditions for these organisms are quite bad in these areas. So the whatever the species found in the desert ecosystems are less as compared to the other ecosystems. The next one is the savanna ecosystem. So the question is, what is a savanna ecosystem? So it is basically a mixed ecosystems or grassland and woodland ecosystem, which are usually characterized by trees being widely spaced, which contains grasses as well as big trees, but the trees are having the wide space, wide distance amongst them. So through the wide spread of the canopy of trees, enough sun can reach the ground and therefore lead to the growth of severe grasses. So that is environment which is crucial for the development of grass, and this ecosystem is known as the savanna ecosystem. So it provides a habitat for many animals including the lion, elephant and giraffe. The next one is the taiga ecosystem. So taiga ecosystem is also referred to as snow forest. So it is described an area which is mainly characterized by coniferous forest. It also includes many lakes, rivers and untouched nature. These ecosystems are located in the northern hemisphere in North America as well as in Europe and Asia. Since average temperatures are usually quite low, as in the taiga ecosystem, temperature is quite low, the amount of species living in the taiga ecosystem is rather limited. So the amount of or the number of species present in these ecosystems are less. Less number of species are present. It may be of species of plants or maybe animals, but these are limited. So next ecosystem is the tundra ecosystem. So tundra ecosystem can be divided into alpine tundra, Arctic tundra and Antarctic tundra. So it is even more extreme in terms of low temperature, as we all heard about it. So tundra ecosystem contains very low temperature. So having low temperature compared with the taiga ecosystem, and therefore only contained a very limited number of animals and plants. So as compared to the taiga system, the amount of animal species and animals and plant species are very limited in the tundra ecosystem. Then the next one is the lake ecosystem. So lake ecosystems are quite common on all continents and provide a habitat for a variety of animals and plants. So, depending on the eutrophication and the acidity level of the lake environment, the number of species living in this environment can vary significantly from lakes to lake. With the amount of acidity or the eutrophication of that lake, particular lake, contains the different number of species. For instance, a lake ecosystem with low eutrophication and therefore high level of oxygen will be populated by more and also different kinds of fishes than one with the low oxygen level. So, if the amount of eutrophication is low, the amount of oxygen in that lake is high. So, the amount of species present are very high. The next one is a river. So, river ecosystems are characterized by flowing water. Lake is a constant water and the river is a flowing of water. So river ecosystem can reach thousands of miles as river travels from its source to the destination. So river ecosystem can reach thousands of miles and provide a habitat for a huge variety of animals, plants and the other microorganisms. Since river ecosystem differ in the average temperature as it travels from source where it comes from and the destination where it goes to the sea or whatever. So it travels a long distance and therefore it is covering the very much distance and therefore it is having various changes in its temperature, the temperature in the water. So since river ecosystem differ in the average temperature and also in the oxygen level, the number of living organisms can vary significantly over different river ecosystem. Next is the marine ecosystem. So marine ecosystems are the largest aquatic ecosystems on our planet. Marine, or you can say it as an ocean ecosystem, they provide a home for many sea animals, plants, many corals and the microorganisms. Some parts of our oceans are still untouched by humans, which leads many scientists to believe that there exist many sea animals that are yet unexplored by the humans. So, as we all know, part of our earth is covered by the oceans. So, ocean or the ocean water. So, it contains various species. So, it provides a habitat, natural habitat for various plants and the various animals species. A wide variety of animals are present in the marine ecosystem. The next is why these ecosystems are so much important for us. Why these ecosystems are important for the human beings or all the living organisms. What is the importance of this ecosystem? So these are the importance for the ecosystem. So first one, it will provide us with the natural habitat for all the animals and plants. So ecosystems is providing the natural habitat for a wide variety of animals and plant species. As we all know that without the natural surroundings or without the, we can say without the environment, it is not possible for plants and the animals to able to grow or to take or to be able to live in that environment. So the ecosystem is a natural source for all the animals and the plants. So ecosystem provides with all the living things, or we can say ecosystem provides with the various nutrients and the various resources to animals and plants. It will provide with the natural habitat. So that way ecosystem is important for animals and plants. Then next one is a ecological balance. So ecosystems are important from the point of view of ecological balance, as if certain number of species changes, so it will lead to the very severe impact on the next level of the species. For example, as all of you know, or have you people heard about the food chain? So in the food chain, that is nothing but the animals are depending on the one another. So if the animals which are suppose animals are eating or they are depending on the plants, then the other animals are depending on that animals who are eating the plants. And if the predator animals are extinct, or we can say if they are not able to other number of species of that animals is extinct, then the animals or the species who are depending on the plants is increasing, and then they consume the lot amount of grass or the plants, which in turn causes the deforestation, or we can say the amount of grass or amount of plant get reduced. So that creates the imbalance in the environment. So that is ecosystem is important from that ecological balance point of view. It maintains the ecological balance, that is it controls the number of species in the environment. It controls the number of different species available in the environment, which are able to carry that food chain. So next one is food chain. So same food chain is a complex process that involves many different processes. For example of food chain is as a for example, cow consumes the grass and the products from the cows, for example milk or the milk products, are consumed by the human beings. And the next one, whatever the waste generated from the cow is that is cow for example cow dung. So it is goes to the, we can use it as a use it as a fertilizer to grow the grass. So cow is eating grass, so that forms the food chain. That means producer, consumer, and again decomposer. After decomposing, all that nutrients goes to again the soil. Then soil grows the grass. That grass is eaten by the cow. Cow provides us with the various products, milky products. Then waste is generated from cow. That waste is again we use it as a fertilizer in the soil, and again that nutrients goes to the soil. So in that way food chain works. So we'll see that food chain in the next lecture also in depth. The next one is the tourism. So ecosystems provides us with the various tourism opportunities. As we all know that we travel to the world to see the different ecosystem, or to see the different animals, to see the different nature, to see the different environmental condition, or to experience different environmental condition, and that is nothing but the ecosystem. So ecosystem provides us with the various opportunities for the peoples who are living there. It provides us with the, it provides with the various productive opportunity for the people who are living there. It provides with the it provides them with the economic sustainability. The next one is the air purification. So as plants are very important part of the ecosystem, so ecosystem provides us with the air purification, as it consumes the carbon dioxide and release the oxygen in the air, so air becomes pure. So in point, from that point of view, air purification, ecosystems are very important for us. Then it provides us with the natural carbon dioxide storage, as plants use the carbon dioxide for their photosynthesis process and store the food So carbon dioxide is stored in the plants in various forms. So uh, in that point of view, ecosystem is very important. Then pollination of crops. So pollination of crops means ecosystem provides us with this facility to grow the plants to the other places. So the different insects are responsible for this process, pollination process. So they provides us with the pollination of crops at different places. So basically they help the farmers and the other peoples to increase their food or to increase their productivity. Therefore it is important from that point of view. Then the economic benefit. So as we know, it is ecosystem provides us with a vast number of precious resources every day. So without our ecosystem, we are not able to get all the products, whatever it may be, for the different products. For example, forest product or the different materials which are required for different resources. For example, wood. So it ecosystem provides with the different resources. So as they are important from the economic benefit point of view, as it provides with various daily resources for food, drinks, etc. So all these are the points from which point of view ecosystems are important for us. The next we will discuss what are the threats or what are the dangers to our ecosystem. What are the problems for our ecosystem to survive? So first one is mining. So mining, as you all know, mining is a process where uh, maybe a blast procedure is done. So in that process, various animals and various plants lose their natural habitat due to this process of mining. As well as we have already studied in this previous chapter, that mining process comes out with the various hazards effect, various hazards chemicals which are directly mixed with the soil in that area, which is directly mixed with the water in that area, as the mining products are washed in that rivers or whatever the lakes are present in uh, nearby area. So that that process of mining is so that water is used for that for washing that minerals, and they in turns affect the systems or the that pollute that soil or that water, and that in turns affect the ecosystem of that area or the animals and plant species which are depending on that soil, which are depending on that water or lake. So as this way, this mining process disturbs our ecosystem, or which will hurt the animals and plant species in that ecosystem. Then the next one is the deforestation. So as with the deforestation, the amount of plants get reduces. So the animals and the plants, which in turns depends on that resources, they lose their natural habitat, or they lose their resources, food resources. So now it is necessary for them to shift from one place to another place, and that is causing the destruction of their ecosystem. The next one is the soil pollution. So for example, many industries are dumping their waste or the whatever the disposable products in the soil, so which can hurt the soil. Then the excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides often pollute the soil, and which in turn causes the various harmful effect on the plants which are depends on the soil, which in turn affects the animals which are depending on those plants, and the cycle continues. The littering, so same, for example, industries littering their dump any without any care, without following any rules and regulations, or the illegal dumping, littering or illegal dumping. For example, we are suppose we are disposing our waste without treating it properly as a weight and uh, wet and dry waste, so that creates the various hazardous effects on the environment, which in turn affects the ecosystem. So illegal dumping of various waste product by industries into the rivers, lakes, and into the soil affects the soil and the river, and in turns the system, that is animals which are present in the river, are affected by that polluted water in the river or the lake, and which in turn causes the number of species reduces of those animals, which in turns affects that ecosystem. The next one is the acid rain. So as we all know, acid rain creates the acidity to increase the acidity level of soil and the acidity level of water. So this will reduce the amount of oxygen, so which is very necessary for all the living organisms. So due to the acid rain, various species gets reduced, so which in turn causes this problem to the ecosystem. The next one is global warming. So as global warming, due to global warming, we know global warming is nothing but the temperature rise. So due to this, various living organisms which are totally depends on the climatic conditions, which are very much familiar with their uh, climatic conditions, they are not able to interact, or they are not able to survive with the other or the sudden temperature rise. So they will not able to live in that system and they will extinct, so it will affect the entire ecosystem. The next one is the water pollution. So due to the water pollution, which are the animals and plants present in that water gets highly affected, they lose their habitat, and therefore their number of species of those animals and plants get reduced, which in turn affect that ecosystem. And the last but not the least reason is the overpopulation. So as due to the overpopulation, number of peoples get increases, or the number of people gets increased, so the number of resources require increase, so the number of uh, or the production required for that resources increases, so it will give the burden on that environmental condition, which in turn causes that resources to destruct or to destroy that resources completely. Therefore, overpopulation creates a very serious impact on the ecosystem. The next, we'll see what are the solution to this problem, or how we can save our ecosystem from this harmful effect, or this from this danger. So first one is the government regulation. So government regulation, to save our ecosystem, government have to make strict regulation regarding the several kinds of pollutions, and so regarding to the destruction of habitat. So we have to ensure that there is enough recreational space for nature to recover from human intervention. So We have to make sure that the very endangered species are protected by the law and that are high fines for killing or collecting those species. So government has to make rules and regulation according to for the conservation of that species which are very endangered. Then climate goals. So very important factor for sustaining our ecosystem is to fight the problem of global warming, that is climate changes. So we have to concentrate on that and set we have to set a strict climate goals and to punish countries that do not care or not able to reach these goals. We have to set the certain conditions for the uh, whatever the factors are responsible for the global warming. So to reduce that we have to set certain goals. For example, the whatever the waste coming from the industries, so we have to set for the goals so that it will create minimum pollution and which will not create the global warming. Then the higher fine for illegal dumping. So whatever dump is created from the, whether it is a household waste or whether it is a industrial waste, if it is illegal dumping, then we have to fine for them. Government has to set the rules for them so that this so we have to make sure that illegal dumping is punished more rigorously so that the companies have a big incentive to refrain from dumping their waste in rivers. So by using the higher fines, we can mitigate the extent of illegal dumping, whether it is household waste, so illegal dumping, and also the implied adverse effect for our ecosystem. Then subsidies for environmental friendly technologies. So government has to make different subsidies to provide the incentives for companies who are developing sophisticated or the environmental friendly technologies. Their subsidies may be in the form of financial subsidies. Then the next one is the stop deforestation. So as you all know, what is deforestation, what are the effects of deforestation. So due to deforestation, whatever the species and animals present in that ecosystems get endangered. So to save them, we have to stop the deforestation process. Then restoration of ecosystem. So the restoration of ecosystem is the another measure in order to improve the living condition of several animals, plants and the other organism. However, this whole ecosystem can be quite difficult since it is not easy to restore natural living condition. So therefore our focus is to protect our ecosystem rather than the restoration of our ecosystem, because we are not totally able to create the natural ecosystem as it is. Then the last one is the reduce our consumption level. That is, if we reduce our consumption behavior, so the amount of resources required is less, and if the amount of resources required is less, the production process requires less. So the goods which are required for the production process is less, and pollution which is created due to the uh, uh, recreation process or the production process are less. So it will save our ecosystem. So these are the important measures from the solution point of view. So what is the conclusion of this is, so our ecosystem provide a habitat for a variety of animals, plants and the other organisms. So without our ecosystem we will not exist as a human species. So only with the intact ecosystem we will be able to grow enough food to supply enough energy resources for a growing world population. So only if everyone contributes to the protection of our environmental system, we can ensure a livable future for the next generation. So this is for the introduction of the ecosystem. So definition, aspects of ecosystem, division of ecosystem. In the next lecture, we'll see the different characteristics, and then next one is functions of different ecosystem. So today we'll stop with it.